And of course, this meeting and all meetings are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted, given to the press in accordance with the statutes. So the citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and the agenda of this meeting. And the roll call is Gunderson.
Here?
And Brunner is absent, and myself. And the only, we'll start out that citizens' appearance, we have none. And then we will do,
You want to approve the minutes from March 9th?
yeah, I
We're gonna
guess, I don't know if what the minutes were from March, I mean, if they were.
Aren't they on there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they are, but with you and I, we don't really know. But,
No, we
Oh,
don't.
this is the first one.
yes,
Right.
Oh.
this is our first one.
Neither
so
one of us were on the committee
All
last.
right.
We
I
weren't on
forgot
that
that.
committee, so basically, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from that meeting.
I'll second it.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Now we'll move on to citizens' appearance. We have none. And the police chief's report.
This is the call log as of, I got one for you too, Shaney. Through today, since the last committee meeting, we haven't, thefts and springtime crimes have started to go up as they usually do in the spring. A little bit more traffic on the weekends with people coming through, heading to wherever they head, camping and whatnot, and the weather was nice. And we've noticed some drug activity is on the increase. Not just here, but as you can read in the papers, it's everywhere. We got a couple of different things going on, which probably not appropriate to discuss in open session. And the other thing I was going to bring in tonight, but couldn't because we still can't get it to work, is we have a log that we do in the squad, which it logs how much gas you buy, if you bought oil, starting mileage, ending mileage for each shift, and we're not good enough with Excel to fix it because it's not adding up appropriately and it's putting X's in spots where there shouldn't be. But hopefully by the next meeting that's up and running. Squads are all up and in service. And everybody has completed their fiscal year training for 2014-15. So we're good with training and we met the standards for training and standard. That's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And then number 5 is discussion on committee meetings for the up and coming year. And I guess I wanted to put this that I feel that this is a very important committee. I believe that we should have monthly meetings. Whether it's just a 10, 15 minute, just so that we know where we are. I still feel that as being we're working for the people of this community, and I just feel that I can't answer sometimes what they want to know. And so I guess the more that we have meetings, the more I know, the better off I can make myself look like I know that I'm actually doing something here.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yep. So, and I guess, I don't know if you can, Jerry, but I would personally like to see if we could break this down and yes, hopefully he's videoing it, somebody will watch it, but we hear so much in the community of, why do we have 4 police officers? Why do we have this? Can you break it down into officers?
Which officer took what call?
Yeah, kind of like how many, just let's just say like Adam works, say Adam's working tonight, 5 to 5. You know, roughly And I don't know how you wanna do it. I tried thinking about this, if you take a calendar and you say, Adam had, you know, I'm sure that he doesn't have all these in one night, but let's just say he stops 7 cars or whatever, you know, just kind of show and what kind of mileage he puts on in the city, but you said, now you had that Excel.
It was working,
Right.
it's not working
But
currently.
that would, if you had that working, would that tell us that,
That'll tell you how many miles per
Okay.
shift each
Yes.
officer travels.
You would want probably per shift and not an officer tied to it. I think you would want, okay.
yeah, the
Right.
PM shift.
PM shift, AM shift.
Yeah, that's
Not-
easy enough to do.
Yes.
Not which man is doing what.
No,
But, you know, we don't wanna,
right,
yeah,
Like averages.
yes.
yeah.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around how you want it to look. So you can have
So.
the mileage, average mileage per shift,
And
and the average number of calls,
calls
per shift.
per shift.
Not necessarily
Right.
what the nature of the
Right.
calls were.
Next week, whoever works the night shift, they might only have, say, 75 calls. Then the next week, they may have 30 calls.
Do
Right.
you want calls, or you want interactions with the public? You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, I'm asking, because I hear what you're saying, and I think you're asking, okay, what was he, so our night shift guy interacted with the public an average of 15 times a night.
Right.
Because you may not get a call, you may just see somebody going through a red light, or a stop sign. I guess you won't see a red light here,
Yeah.
but,
Well, most of that would be under calls for service unless they're just up in the park having a visit with somebody. There's a way to track that in Trax. It's citizen contact. I'm not sure how it prints out. Basically, if I see you on the street and I stop and talk to Nick Gunderson about the street sweeper, you just type that in. But I don't know what the report looks like,
okay.
but I can ask. It's there. I know it's there.
I just wasn't sure if that's what you were actually looking for, is how many times
many-
are they actually
Yes.
interacting with the people?
Right,
I can come up with something for that.
okay.
I'll just bring it the first time, and then if you want it tweaked to look differently, because this here, in our world, this is the call log, these are the exact calls, but what you don't know is probably, let's say there's a mental health case in here or a domestic that was on the news,
Right.
or major drug arrest that was on the news, we typically would elaborate on that afterwards. Anything noteworthy, I'll bring voluntarily, because I don't think anybody, look at animal bites, one.
Right.
Well, nobody's gonna get too terribly excited about that. But the people in the community might enjoy the fact that there was 111 business checks.
Right,
And those are happening day and night.
right. Yes, they are.
Yes.
You know, because this is a year-long,
I'll still bring this,
Report.
this document, just so you guys can answer to, because some people have asked me, well, how many calls do you guys really get? Well, so far, we've had 878.
right. It might be interesting to know, okay, this is calendar year,
That's year to date.
yeah. So, what did you actually get
Last
in
year?
in the month of April?
You want it broken down by month? I can do that. This thing here I can manipulate. I can bring you this year to date, last year to date as a comparison, and I can break it down by any time period. I can do it. The weird thing is we're gonna have to go from committee meeting to committee meeting, not month to month, not January to the end of January.
And even that's, because I think that would basically answer what you're asking for, wouldn't it?
What you look, yeah,
You know, if you broke it down and said, okay, in the month of April, or that 4-week time period, especially if we met every month and had a meeting, that would you could answer any question then.
then, yeah,
You wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't actually have to know day and night. It's like, okay, they had this many calls this month.
Yeah, I can do
And that
that.
might be simpler for you.
That would be a lot easier.
It'd be a lot easier.
But we'll go by the date of the committee meeting. So next month, if we have the meeting on whatever day it is, it'll be that time period.
And that's,
From today to then.
to that,
then that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Plus, you'll have the running total each time. And, because it's hard for me to guess what well, you might find interesting, you might find something completely different, and
Right.
you're gonna be on a different page, so that's where this came from. Another thing, I'm not sure if I can, 100% if I can do it, but I might be able to even break out by wards where the calls were. I'll take traffic out, cause that
Yeah.
could be anywhere, but if there's
Sure.
8 thefts over here and 2 over there,
That would be interesting.
it would be interesting. Roger taught me that when I first started, that every time you had a traffic accident over $1,000, you took a pin and put it in a city map, those big ones. Red if it was an injury, blue if it was just property damage.
Huh.
That was then, but
That'd be kind of good because you'd know if there's a problem in that area. Why is there accidents? You know, is it something that we need to look at or?
yeah.
Right.
And I think that kind of fell by the wayside because there is no real trend other than wintertime. We're not having accidents at this location all the time.
Okay.
And if we did say we were gonna have them, it would be the grocery store parking lot where you would expect it.
Right.
Fender benders, so
But if you could do that with other things, theft,
property
whatever,
crimes.
property crimes, that might be interesting to know, that we might know where we should beef up the,
Where we spend more time.
Yeah.
And that's what we do now. If we have, like, between the last meeting and now, we had people going into cars like they do every spring. Well, this time, it was over on this side of town. But the suspect was from the other side of town. And nothing up by us. It seems to just kind of move around. But I'll take a look at it. It should be something that we can get done easy enough. I know Spillman has got a lot of reports that are not being utilized by us because there's hundreds of them. So I'll go up and talk to Vicky at Records in Weyauwega and see how to break it out geographically.
Oh.
Yeah, I can bring something like
that'd
that.
be interesting.
Yep. And then, and the other thing was then is, do the officers or do you have them, if there's a problem around town, do you have them like documenting or letting the office people know, like streetlights out
Yep.
or there's a hazardous with some trees or brush in the way?
Yeah,
or
when, like, streetlights I don't see.
Right.
Like Adam and Matt and the part-timers see a street light out, they email Becky the pole number and the tag number that's on it, and Becky calls We Energies and they get it fixed. If it's on Main Street, they tell, I think Elkey's does it.
Yeah,
Trees, I usually see them during the daytime. If they're obstructing a sign, I'll just let Eric or Pat know, and then they can, I don't know what the process is, you can't just go chop somebody's tree down or trim it without talking to them, but that and, signs.
Yeah, making sure that the signs are, that's one of the biggest things. I know that up by the apartments, up on Harlan, on that curve.
Yep.
I know that was an area that stop sign was covered for a long time, the street sign was covered, and so we got it open, but that was just one of the things that,
On the house on the corner?
yeah.
yeah.
That tree grew right around the sign. You
Yes.
couldn't even see it.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was one in there.
Right.
Until it was brought to my attention, and then I looked at it. So, okay, that was because I had received a letter from a citizen, wouldn't sign his name to it, but was concerned because there was a street light out on, I believe it was Ann Street. And it was out, must have been for a long period of time. And they stated, well, if it was out in my area, I probably would have got it fixed the next day. But because it was where it was and it's, you know,
Once she notifies We Energies,
right,
if
it's
they
up
do
to
it
them.
a week later or 4 months
Right.
later, that's,
It's how fast We Energies can get here to fix it.
and
You're right.
for the last year and hopefully for the rest of this year, we were pretty tight with those guys, so if we can't get a turnaround overnight with their crew here. But that's typically how it goes. The night shift sends Becky an email, and during the day, we just let Pat know, and he can staff out Public Works or whoever needs to deal with it.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else, Nick, on
Nope,
up and coming year? Anything else that we wanna,
not
I
tonight.
just wanna be more thorough and be a little bit more informal on what's going on with the police so that we can answer the questions that are out there.
through the summer, when these are kind of the agendas that we're gonna have, do you wanna piggyback them on your meetings? On the recreation, or do you wanna,
I'm recreation.
oh,
She's just along for the ride.
I'm just
Oh.
along here for the
alright,
ride.
never mind.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me.
I don't have a problem if we piggyback them on recreation.
Yeah,
Because
then you,
that tends to be a shorter meeting.
Yeah,
So, and I don't mind if in fact, I would appreciate it if we could find a night, the same night every month, so I could try to plan my work schedule and say, I mean,
I personally would like to do that too, because, you got one meeting one night, and then you got another one the
Right.
next night,
Right.
and then next week you got another one, and
just like finance and in public works, it's set nights. It makes it quite easy to plan everything out. So, I'd like.
does one night work better than another, or?
I think if it was the second, I think for me, the second Tuesday,
Second Tuesday?
I think.
That's what this is tonight.
Yeah.
Is the second Tuesday.
Yeah,
And I would be perfectly fine with trying to keep second Tuesdays as much as possible. Does that work with?
does that work with you? or
Thursdays would be my bad night,
Thursdays?
Thursdays.
That's a
would be-
bad night. So,
If,
Yeah,
if I keep going to more meetings, I'm gonna end up having some issues.
so
no,
yeah, I think trying to shoot for the second Tuesday for the both of them.
Now, in the fall, September, we might have to either anticipate you being here longer when starting the budget and starting to look forward to 2016 and all that happy stuff. We can
Well-
still piggyback them, it just might take longer.
Right. Well, but by that time you're looking at rec
slowing down.
winding down.
True.
So.
They should be ending the pool and
Right.
all that stuff. should
So
be
you
ending,
you just be going the opposite directions.
Right,
So that should really work good.
Second Tuesdays,
Second Tuesdays.
okay.
so we can,
Yep.
I can calendar that in for the rest of the
It's going.
next several months.
Yep. Unless something drastic comes up. I mean, everything is subject to some sort of change, but at least let's shoot for that.
All right.
And it's not, I mean, and if it comes up that happens to be a week of your vacation, well, then maybe then you just have to appoint
Also Brandon.
Brandon to come.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any
right.
other such matters authorized by law? I don't have anything.
I have nothing else.
Then we move to adjournment.
Well, I'll make a motion. We adjourn. 6:55.
Second. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. We are adjourned.
6:55.
6:55.
6:55.